starting things off with the women tonight as they hosted their arch nemesis in the USLW League, Midwest United. Steve was there at Keyworth Stadium, and he files this report.
Thank you very much, Madcap, here at Keyworth Stadium on a very rest night here at Keyworth Stadium against Midwestern United. The first half was kind of a feeling out process. As you probably know, the girls were just feeling them out and all that. The both defensive back girls were really good. The only real chance in the first half was near the end of the first half. Detroit City had a big corner kick, and it was bouncing off literally, but didn't win in the net. Now, that was the first half of the game. Don't have a lot of great stats in it because I can't find them on the USW website. But then the second half got going. And you could credit the 49th minute a goal from, guess who? Hannah Crum. She took the initial shot, stopped by the goalkeeper, caught her own rebound, and scored back in the net for a 1-0 lead, her third goal of the year. But wait, as Ron Coates would say, there's more. Guess what? She had probably one of the most prettiest goalazos you ever see. From 25 yards, she struck it, bent it like Beckham, and hit the top right corner to make it a 2-0 lead. And, you know, they tried to score a third one, but like I said, the girls parked the bus, literally, figuratively, and quite literally. So, and they hold on to win 2-0 against Midwestern United at their third victory in a row. And for Hannah Crum, a brace, 2 goals. Yes, she scored. That was his fourth goal. That was her fourth goal of the season. And immediately after the game, I did talk to the player of the game, Hannah Crum. Sorry for my shaky camera work, trying to look at my subject, but we did talk about her amazing performance tonight. I'm with the star of the game, who had 2 great goals. The rebound off the goal and a beautiful golazo at found the net. Hannah Crum, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fine. Congratulations. Great victory. Second victory after a kind of rough start, but the girls have found their groove tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the whole team was just working hard, and we knew coming on the first half that we had some stepping up to do, and as soon as we came out, first 5 minutes, we all were just feeling it, and we knew one was going to go in the back of the net from there.
And
just keep going.
And you were signed just this week. You know, you wasn't with us for the first 2 games, but the second 2, you've been hot. 4 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all team efforts. Everyone's working hard. I wouldn't be able to do it without anyone else on the field. So.
I know. I have to talk about the second goal. That was so freaking pretty there. You know, normally goals from 25 yards out doesn't find the net, hit bodies and all that, but it perfectly hit top right corner.
Top ins. I mean, that's what you got to aim for to get it in against a good goalie. So.
Yeah, and it was a really good goalie. And everybody remembering when you scored that goal against Indy 11 in the conference finals last year, you jumped up like, this is not new for you. You threw like a schoolyard girl jumping for Corey on goal, but it was an important goal, right?
Yeah, of course. So it was exciting to score a goal. I mean, that's the whole goal of the game, is to score lots of goals. So when you score and that success plays off, it feels good. You've got to celebrate.
I know. You're a happy-go-lucky girl, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I hope this carry over for the rest of the season. Next game against Kalamazoo,
yeah.
You're going to be ready.
Yep, of course. We're always ready.
Ready and willing. Well, listen, Hannah Crum, congratulations. Go celebrate with the girls.
Thanks, man.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Like I said, Detroit City, their second straight victory after starting off with a loss against Ann Arbor and tie against FC Union Macomb. 2 games, and just like that, 2 wins, 2 games, and yes, they are now tied for second place against Midwestern United. Head-to-head important. They are 3 points behind AFC Ann Arbor. They are playing tonight as I record this. The last update I got as of this recording was AFC Ann Arbor leading 1-0 against Toledo Villa. So if that was a whole, AFC Ann Arbor have a 6-point lead over Detroit City. And another game to come. And their next game, by the way, will be next week, June the 7th, at home here at Keyworth Stadium versus Kalamazoo FC. And by the way, if you want to get your tickets, you have to get your tickets now at the City Club store or at DetroitCityFC.com/ticket. Sorry for a little close-up. I'm doing the solo from Keyworth Stadium. So, Detroit City win over Midwestern United 2-0. And the girls, oh yeah, they're putting their foot on the middle. That's all for me from Keyworth Stadium. Back to you, Mad Cat.
Thank you, Steve. Great victory for the women last night down at Keyworth Stadium against their arch nemesis, Midwest United, and we thank Hannah Crum as well for helping us out with the interview. Great match for Hannah Crum. 4 goals in her last couple outings for Detroit City FC, and she's coming on. And of course, big difference with that team as of late has been Sophia Romine as well, with her coming back into the lineup and very much helping out in these last 2 games. And good to see Detroit City starting to climb up the ladder. It should be an interesting race going forward as far as the table is concerned in the USLW. It should be some exciting action coming up to try to get that lone playoff spot that is available for winning the division. So, but there's always a bad side to things, and yes, the bad side occurred last night in the Jägermeister Cup between Detroit City FC and Portland Hearts of Pine. So let's get into it. I mean, they say you got to take your medicine. Well, yeah, you got to take your medicine there. So let's get into what was a very frustrating game for Detroit City. Came away with, let's just say, probably one of the poorest performances of the year thus far. Start things off here. As well, I'm trying to get the highlight here. Let's start things off in the 5th minute of play. Aze Lottie with the goal here. 5th minute of play. Detroit City FC down by a score of 1-0. And this is going to be what we saw all afternoon with Le Rouge. Missed opportunities, just bad play in the midfield. Give up the ball. Portland gets on the attack. Next thing you know, ball's in the back of the net. Detroit City had that problem all day long. This one right here, another interception. Ollie Wright puts it behind Carlos Saldana. Score is 2-0 in the 28th minute of play, and the 4,000 faithful at Fitzpatrick Stadium were happy. Detroit would get on the ball or on the board, however, in the 51st minute of play. Sebastian Guenzotti would notch his first goal of the year right here, and Detroit City would get 1 goal closer by a score of 2-1. However, though, another interception in the middle, or this time this was outside the 18. Walter Varela would put this one in the back of the net to give Portland Hearts of Pine a 3-1 lead at that point. Minutes later, though, Matt Sheldon would deliver a ball to uh, Darren Smith, who kind of puts it on off his thigh. Detroit get it a little closer again, maybe get that draw. And this was in the 81st minute. However, another interception in midfield. Muhammad would come in and blast it past Carlos Saldana. Final score 4-2 in favor of the Portland Hearts of Pine. And I know it's in league play, or not in league play, but it drops Detroit City into fourth position right now in that group of four. So not looking good right now for Detroit City as far as that goes. They are 3 points behind Hartford Athletic and Rhode Island FC. So that group has not been solidified as of yet. Detroit takes on Hartford next in the competition. That'll be at the end of June. So they could possibly eke 3 points out there. But remember, the last time they went to Hartford, the goal scoring wasn't there, and it turned into a 0-0 draw in regular season USL Championship play. So that's, that could be an issue right there. Pittsburgh in that division right now, they have lost twice. Westchester has lost twice. So Rhode Island and the goal differential is a little bit different there, but it's based on goals scored right now. Rhode Island scored 5. Hartford has scored 5 in the competition this year. So there's been no games in the competition thus far that have gone to penalty shootouts. So everybody's been on the 3 points scale. Rhode Island has won 2 in a row. Hartford has won 2 in a row in this thing. So right now, I mean, there's still a chance that Detroit City can right the ship and get into one of the top 2 spots and all that. The thing is, though, they don't play Rhode Island. They do play Hartford, though. So they have to win against Hartford. You may look at this as, all right, an upset. And it was an upset because by looking at the table from Portland Hearts of Pine in the table on the League One side right now, they're 1-5-1. They've only won 1 game, draw 5 ties, and lost 1. So they have been drawing games. So it's not really a bad record, so to speak. Just a lot of draws in there. A lot of times they scored, gotten 1 point. They've only won 1 game. But to lose to a side like that in the fashion that Detroit City did yesterday, it was kind of like very upsetting, a little bit disturbing. A lot of opportunities, a lot of interceptions in the midfield. Let's go back to the stats of this game. So clearly in possession, ball possession, 68% to 32%, you think it was a lot. So it was based on the defending and the counterattacking of Portland Hearts of Pine that gave them they gave them the victory yesterday. So but you look at the stats, and I'm looking at them right now, and 9 shots on target, 4 big chances missed, 4 big chances, 2 of them missed. Fewer fouls committed. The thing was with the defense. Let's go to the defensive stats. 9 tackles won compared to 8. 5 interceptions. And here was the thing, too, with Detroit City. Even though Detroit City had 12 interceptions, 1 in the entire match, the interceptions won by Portland converted into big chances and got them goals. They did not miss on their chances. Problem was Detroit's defense failed numerous times to get back into play. So Portland took advantage of the counterattack really well. and probably in what it looked like their best performance of the season thus far as counterattacking, and they're saying, "Oh, we're going to look at it from dispossessment, which dispossessing players and players in the right position most of the time." And you see Detroit defenders just scrambling back to find their position and get their player. And the next thing you know, the ball's in the back of the net. A very, very, very frustrating afternoon, to say the least, for Detroit City fans. And to those that went to Hartford, I mean, God love you for going out there and supporting the club. And unfortunately, you had to see what happened. And the Portland fans last night, they turned out very strong, sold out Fitzpatrick Stadium for this one, and they carried them for the let's just say they carried them for the duration of the contest there. So that's not, like I said, not a great afternoon for Detroit City FC, to say the least, on the men's side of the ball. But a great night for the women, as Steve mentioned earlier. Big win over Midwest United. Let's take a look at what we got going coming up in for the women. Next week they take on Kalamazoo at Keyworth Stadium. Tickets are available right now at SeatGeek.com. Don't forget the Detroit City store downtown at Capitol Park. We'll have those tickets as well. This will be the second to last home match of the season, believe it or not, for Detroit City. And they grouped that force that from the home opener. I want to say a couple weeks ago against Union FC Macomb, and they pretty much got in a stretch. And of course, the two last week with Toledo Villa and Midwest United, and now they finish out the home side with their first meeting of the year against Kalamazoo, but the penultimate home match of the season. Very short schedule this year for Detroit City FC women, as they played 10 games in the Great Lakes Division. Get those tickets now. Saturday will be at the game will be at Keyworth Stadium. I will not be there, by the way. I'll be in Brighton covering the two side. They'll be taking on Detroit Metro FC at Legacy Center on next Saturday night. So that's gonna be an interesting one. It's gonna be interesting to see. And that two side very strong right now in the UPSL. The other men's side will be traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Riverhounds. 7:00 kickoff there. Pittsburgh's been struggling, of course. I mentioned earlier on the about the them struggling in the Jägermeister Cup as well. They're below. They haven't gotten a point in that. But right now in the standings for the USL Championship right now, Pittsburgh is sitting in the 7th spot. So, and the question is, what will Bob Lilly do in this one? And I've heard it on a couple of the programs this week featuring the USL people who cover the USL talk about, don't sleep on this team right now. You may count them out, however, they always find a way. And right now, the streak right now for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, it may not look like they're finding their way. Sans the Jägermeister Cup game, they did lose to Rhode Island the previous week, a 1-0 loss. But a win against. They lost to Rhode Island yesterday in Jägermeister Cup play. They beat Rhode Island by a score of 1-0. However, they've had losses to Colorado Springs, a draw against Lou City. Good to get a draw against those guys. Just saying there. And they've only played a few games, it looks like. Their other two lost, or they also won against NYCFC in the Open Cup, and lost to Philadelphia Union, and Philadelphia Union doing well in the Eastern Conference in the MMLS. It was a 4-1 victory there for Philadelphia Union in the Open Cup. So uh, it's just trying to figure things out. Augustine Williams has had 1 goal this year. Danny Griffin has had 3 goals. Mertz with 1. Uh, like I said, this Riverhounds team but they always seem to be there. They always find themselves in the playoff spot. So we shall see what happens. That's next week in Pittsburgh. Obviously, you can see the game on CW Detroit 50, CBSDetroit.com, and ESPN Plus, I believe, for that matchup in Pittsburgh. So, like I said, I will be in Brighton next week, Soccer Night in Detroit, with everything. We'll get another update from Steve from the women's match on Saturday as well for after hours. But basically, I'll be in Brighton, and we'll break everything down for the week as we cover the 2 team for the first time this year. So it should be, I'm looking forward to it. That should be fun. That should be very fun against a very good, the future. I mean, with the future of Detroit City FC football there. So, but once again for Steve, and thank you for all the coverage from Keyworth tonight, or last night again. I will say this: keep your feet in the ground, keep reaching for the galaxy. Until next time.